Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this evening, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheen, but we got everybody else that's here with us, man, that are very important. I'm going to go around and give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves. We're gonna start. Hold on. I see we got somebody on cam here. There we go. There we go. Turn the cam on. I'm gonna go to the cam first. Ryan, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
Doing wonderful. How you doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Badger, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
Good evening, another blessed night.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Toussaint, the wise man. There you go, on camera and everything. I don't know what we're gonna do with him. There you go. Good evening, sir. How you doing this evening? Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Now, how about that? Hey,
Now,
brothers, how y'all doing?
Now you're cooking with some grease. Can't fry that chicken in water, brother. Can't fry that chicken in water. I promise you. Now, I'm gonna start off. We're gonna start this thing off with Ryan. Let's start off with you, brother. And this which one I want to. If somebody asks you this question, what do you think they mean? They come to you. They obviously they're going through some things, and they say, Ryan, brother, can I borrow your ear? Can I borrow your ear? What does that mean?
That means they trying to borrow my ear. They want to talk it off.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe drop some knowledge in there or drop some problems in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, and the reason why I asked this particular question right now because I'm usually I don't preface what I say, but I'm gonna preface it. A lot of times when somebody come to us, would you agree that they say, "Can I borrow your ear?" They want you to listen. How often is it that we, as men, as fixers, we're fixers. That's what we do. We try to fix everything. How often do we try to, instead of listening and lending them our ear, we want to give them solutions? How often do we do that, Ryan?
Pretty much every time. Pretty much every time.
But that's not what they asked us for, though. They didn't ask
No,
us that. They say, "Can I borrow your ear?"
a
And
lot of our problems is we hear but we don't actually listen.
absolutely, absolutely. So, can I borrow your ear? And before you know, we give. Well, this is what you need to do, man. I've been listening to you. This what listen. Yeah, I saw this situation before, and when I saw this situation before, this is what I did. They didn't ask you what you did. They didn't ask you that. Go ahead, Ryan. Go. We do it all, and you said it, man. Pretty much 100% of the time, that's what we do. But go ahead, brother. Explain it to us.
No, it's true. A lot of us have that fixer mentality because that's what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's the difference is we hear but we're not actually listening.
Mm-hmm.
And when
Mm-hmm.
someone wants to borrow your ear, they want you to listen. And
Yes.
that's something I've had to learn over the years is just be quiet. Just be quiet and let them finish. And
Yeah.
then if they want your advice, they'll ask for it.
Now, I gotta go here, man. How hard is it if they come to you, they trust you enough to talk to you, and they want you to lend them your ear, and they say everything that they want that they want to say? How hard is it that we just leave it right there, don't say anything, and just walk away? How hard is that?
Man, that's incredibly hard. It's very hard, especially if it's something that you relate to or something that you 100% have gone through
Mm-hmm.
and you know what the answer is. They may or may not want to hear that answer. So you just got to kind of zip it and let them say their piece and wait. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like that uncomfortable silence at the end. You're sitting there like, you gonna ask me? You gonna
Yep.
ask me? And then they don't, and you kind of feel like, oh man, they didn't even ask me.
You walk away feeling some kind of way, don't you? Tell the truth now. You walk away. You walk away feeling some kind of way, man. Maybe I call him tomorrow and tell him,
Yeah.
why didn't they ask me? Because I
I could
can't
have asked,
answer.
I could have helped him if he'd have just asked.
Exactly, exactly. Badger, what do you say to that? Somebody come to you and say, "Can I borrow your ear?" Is it really that easy for you just to listen and not give your opinion at all, even though you know this is? I've been through this. I've seen this before. Badger, is it really that easy for us just to listen?
Well, I guess that depends on the person. I was very blessed to have some wisdom passed on to me for those kinds of situations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I ask a question up front. Do you want me to say something or do you want me to be your soundboard?
No, they say, "Let me borrow your ear." They ask you the question, "Let me borrow your ear." They don't.
I'm
Yeah.
you ask me, I'm telling you.
Okay.
This is
But
what I do.
I'm asking you from the question that was posed to you now. See, you adding something else to it. I'm asking you from the question. The question is, can I borrow your ear? Not can you give me your opinion, not all the other stuff. Can I borrow your ear? That's all I ask you. And you say yes or no. And we'll go from there.
I would not say yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
I would return ask you if you're asking to borrow my ear.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to be a soundboard and say nothing, or do you want input?
You're complicating it,
And
Badger.
no, you're asking me a question.
Mm-hmm.
That is how I answer anyone that asks if
Mm-hmm.
they can borrow my ear.
Okay. But if they say, "Can I borrow your ear?" they're not looking for your opinion. They asking you, "Can they borrow your ear?"
Then I
And
sit there and say
for you
nothing.
exactly. And so is how hard is it though? Because you've been through this situation before, you've experienced this situation before. How hard is it for you not to say anything?
Not hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that I was taught to me, and I just learned to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
they don't want my opinion, there ain't no reason to say anything. If they didn't ask for it, don't speak.
Yeah, yeah, and see, and that's what I was saying. Because when you go into saying, "Well, do you want to be?" No, no, no. They didn't ask you all that. They asked you, "Could they borrow your ear?" That's all they wanted from you, your ear. Tucson, oh Lord, boy, here we go. Here we go. Tucson, what do you say to this, man? Somebody come to you. You've been through this situation before. You've experienced this situation before. They ask you the question, out and out. Can I borrow your ear? And you say yes.
Yeah,
They tell you their situation. How hard is it, or is it hard at all for you just to listen and not try to lend them your opinion?
I had to learn. I had to learn that the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, they told me I didn't ask for your advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just listen. Just
Mm-hmm.
listen. So I learned to listen. And but the thing that happens when you don't say nothing, you know what they say? You ain't saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you didn't ask for a mouth. You
Yeah.
asked for
Yeah.
an ear.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to tell folks I don't give advice because we give, we give the best advice, but we don't take our own.
None of it. None of it.
So I'm kind of like, I didn't know. Well, we in this conversation, but like Badger was saying, and I ain't asked you to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ask you to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. So I don't ask people for their ear because they ear come with a mouth. Ears,
Mm-hmm.
and my ears for a reason.
Yeah.
You gotta shut them up.
Hey, hey, Tucson, you, you skipping real bad, brother. You skipping real bad.
Go to somebody.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Ryan, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Because okay. Hey Ryan, what's on your heart, brother? Because I know, man, and just being transparent, man, it'll be real hard. It'll be difficult for me, and I can only speak for myself to know what it is, what they're going through. I have experienced it before, and have an opinion. I have an opinion. I walk that walk, but they didn't ask me for my opinion. They asked for my ear.
Yeah, that is definitely a tough task to just sit there and be quiet, especially if you know unequivocally what the answer is,
Yeah.
and that you can fix that situation, or at least offer that guidance. But
Let me ask you
even
this though. Let me ask you this, and so that's good. I'm glad you went there. That's good, man. But how do you know that your experience and what you went through and how you handled it is going to work for the situation that they're in?
you really don't. You really don't. You're
Mm-hmm.
just using your best educated. I don't really want to call it a guess because it's not a guess for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And not everything works the same for everybody, but there are certain situations that your experience and your guidance in will benefit them regardless of if it works 100%. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
work somewhat
Yeah.
because not every situation is that far gone from each other, right? We're human beings, and we experience a lot of the same things in
Mm-hmm.
life as each other. If
Mm-hmm.
you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I know. But man, it will be for me again. I can only speak for me. It'll be real tough for me to walk away from that person and not lend them my opinion as to what I think. You may want to do this right here, or you may want to try this right here. But again, that's not what they asked me. They asked me, could they borrow my ear? And if I lend them my ear, it does not come with my tongue. That's tough though. That's tough.
Yeah, it's but again, you got the other side of that coin too, where if they actually ask you for your opinion, they ain't going to listen to you anyway. So
Yeah. Truth. Good deal. Cornelius, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Hey, doing well, doing well. Good to have you. Cornelius, I'm asking you a question. I want you to listen what I'm saying to you. Somebody come to you, a very close friend. Okay, just say I come to you one day, Cornelius, and I hope I'm a very close friend. I come to you one day, and I say, Cornelius, man, can I borrow your ear? Can I borrow your ear? And I tell you, you say yes, and I tell you what the situation is that I'm going through at that particular time. Now, it's a situation that you went through maybe a couple of years ago. You've been through this situation, you've seen it. But I say, can I borrow your ear so I can tell you, maybe get it off my chest? How hard would it be for you not to give your opinion and just listen?
Uh, I've grown through that. I'll
Mm-hmm.
start off with that. It used to be a time where I want to give my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
but I've learned to listen because I do it with my wife all the time. I learned to just listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because, by me being who I am in Christ, the Bible teaches me to be slow to hear, be swift to hear and slow to speak. So I learned through that situation nowadays. I learned to just listen, and then I'll pray about something to see if I should respond, or I would just tell that person to be encouraged
Mm-hmm.
in that situation, or I would tell that person what I've been through, that what helped me through that situation. Now, your process may be different, but it can help, because one thing about it is I've learned in this life,
But Cornelius,
people, go ahead.
you now see again we veered down the lane of not giving them our ear, but lending them our opinion and giving them our tongue. They didn't ask for that. They asked for, can I borrow your ear? They didn't want your opinion. They just want somebody that they know that you're a good listener and you will listen to them, and it ain't gonna go nowhere else. It's gonna stay right there. So how do you just walk away?
Well,
Huh?
that's why I said. That's why I said or.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I kept throwing the word or in there. It
Mhm.
all depends on how that situation is how it is going, and one of those things or that conversation, But I believe me, if I hear from the beginning that where you're not really asking for opinion, then I get it. And sometimes I do it with some. There's only a few people I do this with. And there's one guy that I know in particular that I may call to vent about some situations. that I know that he's an older gentleman in his 70s. I consider him a best friend and a good friend and a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my spiritual fathers. I consider him real close friend. More than any of the guys that I know I've known through my life over the years. And I share everything with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what it is. I share it with him. And I've noticed he knows when, through wisdom, when to speak on when it's opinion, or he'll just listen. And he'll say, I hear you, man.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you. And that's basically what I've learned through him and learned through all different types of situations. But I don't have to always, no, you don't have to always respond to when people, especially if they're not looking for it. If they flat out tell you, I'm not looking for opinion, I just want to express this how I feel about something, then so be it. You don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the way I see it.
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah. And see that. And I, like I said earlier, man, truth of the matter for me, speaking for me, it'll be hard, man. It'll be real hard for me not to say anything or not to want to say anything based on the idea or the thought that I've been through this before. I've experienced this, man. I've experienced this. So how could I walk away from you and walk away with a solution that may help you? How can I do that? That's my whole thing. Rico, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
I can't complain, man. How everybody doing this evening, man?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Rico, I come to you one day and I say, Rico, man, can I borrow your ear? Can I borrow your ear? And I tell you, you say yes, and I tell you what the situation is. And you be like, man, in your mind, you be like, man, I've been through that before. Man, I know the solution to this right here. Rico, you know what the solution is. In your heart of hearts, you know what the solution is. I asked to borrow your ear, not your tongue. How hard would it be for you just to walk away and not say anything? Because I didn't ask for your opinion. I asked you to listen. How hard would that be?
I mean, man, it would almost be automatic for me to still tell you if I know that's a problem and I got the solution.
But I didn't ask you for that. I didn't ask you for your opinion. I just asked you to listen.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you say that, but you're going to have to let me know right off the top that you don't want no solution.
Mm-hmm.
You just want me to listen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I might listen, but don't get me wrong. If you don't want no solution, I might not hear everything you're saying.
Yeah, see, and that's my whole point of having this conversation, because, and like we said in the beginning of the broadcast, man, we as men, naturally, man, we're fixers. We want to fix it. That's a part. I guess that's a part of our DNA to want to fix it. But if a person don't want your opinion, they just want, let me borrow your ear. I want to tell you about something that I'm going through. And because of the fact that we're fixers, Rico, we want to fix that situation. We know the solution. Man, listen, man. Oh, man, I've been through that. No, that's not what they asked you for, though. That's not what they. So how hard would it be to just walk away, be like, oh man, I knew that. And like we said earlier, I think it was Ryan that said it. Man, why didn't they just ask me, man? Why didn't they just ask me? I could have told them, man. But that's what we want to do. But we also have to honor what they asked us for. How do we do that?
I think it depends on, once again, now that I think about how you asked that question, if somebody just come to me and say, look, man, I just need somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier to understand. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they need to let me know that they just want to vent. They just want to let this off the chest, but they are cool with where it is.
Yeah.
Because if you're not cool with where it is, and if you complaining and venting, it sounds like there's an issue or a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, it's hard for me to sit there and listen to somebody going on and on again about a situation that can be solved.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to sit there, because to me that's illogical to just want to vent and complain, but then you don't want to fix the situation.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna tell you, if you don't want to fix the situation, it sounds like you got a situation going on. If you don't want to fix it, then it ain't good to talk to me, because I can't sit back and listen to no nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Now you don't call this situation nonsense, man.
It would be nonsense for him to continue going through it, and there's a solution for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be brutally honest with it. I mean, that's me. I'm brutally honest.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if I know you got a situation going on, but there's a way you can nip that in the bud, don't expect me to sit there and just keep on going, oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, poor baby. Oh,
man, you know, you might have to go somewhere else and listen to that because that's irking me listening to it when I know it doesn't have to exist. You can
Yeah.
solve this problem.
Exactly.
So you must like it.
Yeah. How my aunt say, if you like it, I love it.
Hey,
Go ahead,
hey,
Tucson.
Raheem,
Yes, sir.
just one quick
Oh,
statement.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, because I know you got going to the next person. I apologize.
No, you're
But
fine.
just one quick statement. What if that? But I think you said this earlier. But it also depends on the relationship you have with that person. Because if you have a long time relationship with one another for years and y'all always had each other back, y'all know how one another are. You already know if you go into that person, they're gonna make an offer, a suggestion or solution to whatever that situation is because of y'all friendship.
Yeah. But see,
because of your camaraderie that y'all had over a period of time.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why I think will also help, will make a person will also have their opinion on that situation. Just a thought. I'm asking you.
Yeah, that's true, and that's true. That's very true. But at the same time, we have to respect the way the person came to us and the opening that they had when they came to us. Can I borrow your ear? Can I borrow your ear? And maybe you could go into the conversation about, okay, what exactly does that mean? What do you mean? Can you borrow my ear? What exactly are you asking me? What I want you to listen to what I'm about to tell you. And I don't, at this point, I'm still weighing it in my mind. I'm still weighing over so many different angles in my mind. So I don't want to add anything else to it. I just want you to listen to it because I need to get it out. And maybe I just need to hear myself say it, because if I hear myself say it, it'll give me a better vision as to what's going on. So I want to talk to somebody. And you and I are close enough whereas I feel like I can talk to you and it won't go anywhere else. It'll stay right here. So Ryan, see, look at Rico, Lord Jesus. See, and that's my thing on it, Ryan. But I don't want your opinion because I don't want you to add, I don't want you to complicate it for me. So I just need you to listen. Can you do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. But it's not gonna go well. I mean, you can't hide your facial expressions. You can't hide your eyes when you're sitting there engaging with someone. So
So you're
a
gonna be
lot
looking
of
at like,
times
you're
people
gonna be
come
looking
to
at
me
like
and I'm
this.
like, just doing this, or he's trying. Yeah, he's just kind of doing this or doing this. You're just trying to guard your face so you're
Exactly.
not giving it away, like. And the whole while you in your head, like, man, you a fool.
Look, you be like, this Tucson, talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
The problem is that we're really,
Oh,
ask us. We're really smart.
Too smart.
We're really we're really smart. So we don't listen, and so our intelligence has to come out. So with that listening ear, the mouth flies open.
Lord.
Ain't nobody asked you. But we're fixing. You said it, right? We're fixers. We can fix everybody's problem but our own.
Yeah.
So
we give great advice. We give the best advice, but we don't take ours.
Yeah, true.
I mean, we got the answer to all the world's problems, but ours.
It's a whole different situation.
We be like, oh,
is it that we too smart, or is it that we've been through some things so we think we know better?
Well, my favorite saying is, and when I listen, I'm learning to listen. And sometimes when people ask you for their ear, they tell you the solution or what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And my favorite saying is, let's see how that work out for you. Because most of us have been through and been there, done that. And especially young folks, they got the answer. Boy, they tell you, boy, I'm gonna do this, and that, and this is how this is that. I say okay. Let's see how that work out for you. Because life has a tendency to make a swift change or a turn when you least expect it. Rainfall. You didn't expect that. You thought it was going to be sunny and you was going to be on the beach. Oh, really? Hard times came, didn't it?
Yes.
Matter of fact, right here, I'm gonna show you how smart we are.
Uh-oh.
This year, the government bust their bubble. They thought they was gonna get $10,000-$15,000 of income tax money, and
didn't get it. Ain't gonna get it. Ain't gonna get it. And look.
Matter of fact, what they got, they getting it back from them.
Yeah.
Now what you gonna do?
Spending money you didn't even have. Who that? My uncle, I think it was my uncle told me, don't spend no money that ain't in your hand, boy. If it ain't in your hand, you can't spend it. So I seen Rico, he was reacting earlier, man. What's on your heart, brother? Because it's hard for us, man. It's really hard for us just to listen and not give our opinion. It's hard. It's real hard. Go ahead.
Man, you know, I done been in a situation. Don't get me wrong, man. Listen, this my whole life, man. I've been like, for some reason, I think there's a sign on the back of my head that says, dump all your emotions on Rico. Cause man, when I tell you, people call me with situations, man, and then they'll tell me, you know, I knew I could call you and depend on you. But the thing is that sometimes you hear situations and you just think to yourself, okay, I know they caught up in it with their heart. They don't want to let go, but they really doing some stupid stuff. So I started imagining a story that I heard, you know, when you were saying that about, man, I need somebody to talk to. And when the man wanted to come talk to me, he wanted to tell me that his old lady wasn't getting him none no more. Whoa. Over time, you know what I'm saying, that he started opening up a little bit more. And the man, you know what, man, that ain't all. I found a condom and we don't use condoms. She been saying she going out with her girlfriend, but I heard her girlfriend say, I mean, you just start hearing certain things and then you might see some stuff yourself. You're like, I don't want to get in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Then they come to you. Man, I found out she messing with somebody else, man. I want to say something to her, but I love her. So now all of a sudden he's still desperate though. He want it. He want to have some sex. She ain't gave him no sex in 8 months. Woo. Now she going out on a girls trip. Man, I found out that Anna was there. Yeah. She didn't even go on no girls trip, man. She been lying to me. They come back later on, man. I found a pregnancy test. She pregnant. I ain't been getting. Wow. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, man, you a damn fool, man. Hey. A fool. I mean, you know, but see, I know how it can be when you on the inside of a situation and you got that pressure on you and you involved and you got money invested and your feelings invested in time and shame and pride and all these different things that you don't want to let go. And on top of that, you might be comfortable with this person. You got adjusted to them, but you didn't realize that they was doing what they were doing, and you don't want to let go because you hooked on what you thought you had. Yeah. So now you're trying to hang on to it. You're trying to make it work. You want to give her another chance. You caught her, and your friend sitting there saying, "Man, everybody knocking her down, dummy."
Yep. The whole town's laughing at me. Silly fool, silly fool.
So I'm a friend and I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut. Yeah. And just like Ryan said, I'm trying to keep my cool, but man, I cannot sit up here and keep listening to no stupidity. Yeah. And you stupid. Yeah. So I mean, you know, you don't want me to say nothing. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I cannot spend any more of my time sitting back listening to nonsense. I got better things to do than to listen to somebody just like to feel like this. You've been going through this too long.
Can you actually? And I'm gonna tell you the way that a lot of times I would do it like this. I say, man, you say she going on a lot of girl trips, huh? Yeah. You say you found a condom. Yeah. Girls use condoms. What do you think the condom was for? Oh, okay. And she ain't gave you nothing in how long? Oh, you say y'all ain't did nothing in 8 months, but she's pregnant. How many months is she, brother?
But I don't want you to say nothing. I just want to lay my opinion. I don't want your opinion. I just want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Well, you trying to get an understanding.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to hit them with them questions, man, to make them say, "Oh, wait a minute. She a month and a half, and we ain't did nothing in 8 months.
Did I hear
Wait
that
a
right?
minute.
Okay, I'm just trying
Yeah.
to get an understanding.
Yeah,
Let me
exactly.
get this straight. Let me make sure I heard what you just said.
Exactly.
Exactly. You say she a month and a half, and y'all hadn't done anything in 8 months. Bro, you got some powerful stuff, don't you?
Your math ain't mathing right now.
Exactly. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Where are we exactly? Because it's sounding like it's gone everywhere.
No, man, no, it's going where it needed to go, man, because you're still in a situation. Whereas, what do? They don't want to hear your opinion, like the example that Rico gave, man. That's a lot. And for you to just sit there and listen to that, this is your friend, this your boy. And if you just have to sit there and listen, man, I didn't know you was that dumb, brother. Man, I didn't know you was that man. Come on, man. Are you all right? Are you all right? And because it'll make you look at him a little differently, man. Are you all right, bro? You sure you all right? Let me feel your forehead. Let me feel your forehead. You might be a little touch there. You might be a little touch. But
Yeah,
Badger,
that
what's
when
on
you start that when you start wondering if they don't
Oh.
play the little spaghetti game.
You know, I guess I'm different when it comes to that.
Okay. Tell us how you're different.
I'm, like I said, like I was saying earlier, I was taught to do it a different way.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
And sometimes silence is the best option.
Mm-hmm.
And after they're done, be a duck. Let it just go right off your back. Give it the Great Spirit, and send it with a prayer, and
Mm.
go. Let me know when they're ready. I'll help them if that's what my. So it's. I guess sometimes it depends on how you were taught how to handle things.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's why if someone asks, and once again, if you ask for my ear,
Mm-hmm.
friend or no friend, I'm going to ask you, do you want my input or do you want me to stay silent and listen? Which is what a soundboard is.
Now, what if he called you every night and these phone calls was 3 or 4 hours and they would be longer if you didn't make them get off the phone? He called you every night with the same old stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
Been there, done that.
Mm. I ain't gonna do it too long.
And every night,
I'm not gonna do it too long.
every evening after the conversations were done, I would just say a prayer.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Hey, you're
I
a good
think
brother.
it took 6-7 months of that.
Mm.
And then he went, "You've never said a word." Nope, just listen.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "What's your opinion?" And I shared it. He didn't talk to me for about 2 months. Then he come back and just said thank you, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. You're a good brother, man. I'm gonna tell you something because I couldn't.
It's for me, it's the teachings that were passed on to me. That's why I'm so big on mental health and learning from the elders, and like Donald Toussaint and the elders that taught me among the native tribes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sometimes the strongest medicine is just to listen.
Yeah. I was about to say something. I'm not gonna say that. Let me go to Cornelius. Cornelius, what's on your heart, brother?
A couple things. I was laughing what y'all was talking about earlier about man, that happened to me before, man.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Messed around, hooked up with a chick,
Mm-hmm.
and within a week she claimed that she was pregnant. I'm like, what?
Mm.
So that was something special.
Yeah.
And that was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go on this aspect of it. You know what's hard? What was really hard? All of us that have children, it's hard to hold our opinion back on that.
Yeah.
Because you care for your children so much,
mm-hmm.
and you want the best for them, and you know that they're going down the road of making bad decisions, and you know that they're making these choices because why? You done been there, done that, and you're making decisions that's going to affect them later down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of hard to hold that opinion back. And because you feel like it's guidance, it's counseling, it's trying to teach your children on how to be adults and making right decisions in their lives, because it can go bad or it can go good. Now we're human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to make these decisions, whatever what they are. But I always talk about life-altering choices that we make. And I really truly believe, I really, this is not biblical, but it's a model that I stand on, that people come into your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime.
Yeah.
So in those 3 areas, they're bound to become opinions that's going to help guide you along your lifespan. And why do I say that? Because I deal this with my son all the time. My son just turned 29 years old. He has made some bad decisions. It's been time. I've told him, dude, this is going to go down. I'm telling you what I know. This is my opinion, but I know from my opinion, from my experiences, and from the perspective of what I've seen in life choices, and what could happen behind those choices. And the first thing he tell me, only time will tell. Okay, now when the stuff hit the fan, you come running back to me telling me, Dad, this done went down. Now I'm like, I just look at it. Now when I was trying to tell you, offer you an opinion or suggestion, now you want to hear what's going on and still don't make the right choice, and still want to continue to do what you want to do, and still making those bad choices between my son and different even people, and also as a spiritual leader in the church. When you're trying to teach people the gospel and what it takes to be spiritually strong in this walk, and they still don't get it. And I know these are adults, and I know they're going to make their choices and whatever the case may be. But I'm not just telling you through my spiritual walk from my offering a opinion. I'm telling you fact on what I know can go down, because I've been there, done that. But still, that's the difference between people that just don't want to continue to do what they want to do and how they want to do and where they want to do. And unfortunately, it can end up in making bad choices and decisions that will alter the course of your life if you're not careful. And that's just a thought for me.
Good deal. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
Having a spirit of discernment will allow you to answer or not. Because sometimes people just want to feel you out.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for people that's trying to feel you out to see if you know, or see if you got the answer that they won't listen to.
Yeah.
Because you listen, that's what's good about if a person asks you for a listening ear, that you would actually listen to them. Because in your listening, you hear whether they want your advice or not. If we listen, because you can tell in the tone or in their demeanor or how fast they talk, because some people fast talkers. And you can tell how they didn't come from a problem to the solution, and they're asking you to listen to them. Man, you're not gonna listen to me anyway. So I'm hearing you, but I'm hearing you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm hearing you, but I'm hearing you. And based on what I've heard, you ain't talking about nothing.
Wow.
Because you done already. I know how you gonna operate. You gonna try to fix it yourself. You're not gonna get no sound advice. You gonna get your advice from your peers.
Yeah.
That don't know their tail from a buttonhole.
Good Lord. A tail from a buttonhole. Rico.
That was another way.
You went way on back with that one. Look at you went deep in the bucket with that one there, brother. Rico, talk to me, man, because that's something that happens a lot. And we don't want to see our friends hurt. We don't. And that's a part of the reason why we want to give our opinion, and we have that driving, that motivation in us just to talk to them and tell them, brother, man, says, come on now. Now you this guy coming home 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning every morning. talking about he had a flat tire every day. How many tires on his car?
You know,
Come on now. Go
your
ahead.
friend, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your child.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to that type of stuff, man, and you know what's going on, but they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
They don't want to leave. Why? Because they hooked. I love her. I love him. They hooked on something. And you know the fact that they hooked, they're going to stay in a situation that's not the best situation for them. Imagine somebody on an oxygen machine.
Wow.
Always complaining about their lungs and still smoking cigarettes.
Yep.
You just want me to sit there and listen to you?
3
hours a day? My children need some of this time. I'm going to sit back and waste my time listening to you. Oh, my lungs hurt so much.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit this crack and this cigarette. I hit a little rocky every now and then, too. Oh, my lungs. Oh, my God. I need to get my oxygen. Oh, wait a minute, y'all. Wait on me. I got to bring my oxygen machine with me. What I'm going to sit up and listen to you 3 hours for when I got quality time I could be doing for myself or for somebody else, like my children, my wife. I can imagine my wife sitting there watching me listening to somebody for 3 hours talk about the same thing over and over, and I don't say 2 words. I don't even tell them, look, man, that don't sound right.
Yeah.
You need some help. I look as big a fool as him.
Yep.
My wife might leave me. I might not deserve none when I get off the phone. Okay, baby, part the legs. I come. Wait a minute. You've been on the phone with that dude for 3 hours every night, man. I don't want none.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
I'm going to sleep.
The children don't want to play with you. They mad. Daddy, dang, Daddy, you talking to that guy all the time. He talks about the same stuff. Dad, you're never saying anything. You're just sitting there listening.
Yeah.
You want to play with Daddy. Can you imagine that? I mean, there's a thin line between patience and I think I was losing contact then. There's a thin line between having patience and being a stool pigeon. You get what I'm saying? I mean, it's good to be patient and listen sometimes. But now it gets to a point where you just be like, okay, I ain't fishing to sit up and keep listening to this. You don't have to go through this. You know you don't need to be smoking them cigarettes. Why you complaining about your lungs? That's what got you in this situation anyway. Still smoking, huh?
Yep.
I didn't bring that pack of cigarettes with me that you asked me to bring. Matter of fact, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it over here tomorrow. If I do come, I ain't going to be able to stay long. I'm going to start cutting some stuff short. Yeah, man. I'll call you right back, man. I need to go and turn off the TV.
Yeah.
Then make up a lie. Hey, man, I'll call you right back, man. I need to turn the volume down. I'll call you back soon. I ain't finna listen to this no more. I already know where you headed, homeboy.
Look here. I need to go in there. I need to go. Let me go another room in here and wet the water. I'll be back. I'm gonna go wet the water.
Hey, man, I need to go outside and take a breath real quick. I'll call you right back.
Exactly. Badger, what's on your heart? I see you writing something in the chat there, Badger. What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Well, something kind of came to mind because of Donald. Mr. Tucson over there. Sometimes silence is what they need. And for the listener, it's practicing how to listen. It's our lesson in the situation. Because this morning, we're talking about compassion and mental health and things of that nature. And with what Donald was saying, it just sparked something in me because it was a huge reminder of the importance of compassion and discernment of knowing when to listen and when to speak.
But Badger, you said that you listened to this guy for 3 hours. I think you said for
roughly,
6-7 months, talking about the same thing every day. I mean, that's like work. That's like a job, brother. That's like a job every day.
Well,
every day.
Here's my thing. Spending, 23 years of my life not having anyone willing to spend the time to give me time to talk and process my emotions and my trauma. not being able to afford a therapist or not even a preacher. I couldn't even find a preacher
Mm-hmm.
that would be willing to sit long enough with me.
Mm.
Well, then tell me you just want me to listen and I won't speak.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not that hard. Just tell me you want to speak. You want to talk, I'm going to talk. If you don't want me to talk, say so.
But 6-7 months though, Badger.
Yeah.
3 hours, 2 or 3 hours every time.
Yeah. My wife will vouch for it. I do that stuff off and on. I've been doing it every day, 12, 13 years, different people.
Look here,
And
I
to
tell
me,
you, get you a voice recorder, say everything you want to say, send it over to me.
I'll be right back.
Exactly.
I'm about to start charging some people. Look at man, y'all got to pay me, man. That's 3 hours a day, man. That's some good money I'm missing out on, man. I got too many things I could be listening to.
Yeah.
Dear Abby,
those
I didn't know you was kidding the Dear Abby, Badger.
do what?
But see, no, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, Badger.
Okay.
But my thing, don't worry about that. But my thing is this right here.
know
You know
what
that you can do that. I applaud you, brother. I
couldn't do it without God, man. Without
Yeah.
Great Spirit guiding
Yeah.
me, I couldn't
Yeah.
do it.
Okay.
My old self,
Mhm.
nope. I tell you to go F off somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who I became after I met my wife is a whole nother story.
Okay.
I
Ryan,
just
go ahead. Finish your thought.
that's why I think this is a really important conversation, because learning discernment is something we all need for every moment we are given.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it just really, I feel really, really strongly about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes being a listener for months might be exactly what that person needs, and that person was sent your way for you to also learn just as much as them.
Yeah. Okay. And like I said, man, I applaud you, brother. I really do. Truth of the matter, being totally honest, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. Tucson, talk to me. Cornelius, coming to you, and we've been on this topic here for the entirety of the conversation. We're gonna switch to something else in a minute. We're gonna stay on this to the top of the hour, then we'll go to another topic. Tucson, what's on your heart? look at Ryan.
How you gonna call my name and then go to Donald?
Oh, I did that.
Man,
Okay.
he distracted, man. He over there writing and picking on something, man. You know, call this man name and then went right to Donald. You just went from Donald and you came to me.
Man, look at here, man. I got 6 things going on over here at one time. I got 6 things going on.
I'm a co-host. Go ahead, Ryan. What's your opinion on the deal?
Go ahead,
I'll
Ryan.
be your co-host, man. You tripping?
Man, look here. I got six things going on, man. Y'all know this. I got six things going on right now at one time. I got people talking to me talking to me about this conversation on chat and all kind of stuff.
I got you, dude. I got you. I'm gonna keep your own point. I got you.
I put it to you like this, man.
Lord.
Yeah, Badger a better person than me, because you coming at me with the same nonsense every day. Like Badger said, sometimes silence is the best medicine. Yeah, it's gonna be some silence. I'm done with you. I'm walking away. And that sound harsh, but sometimes that's how it be. I'll turn somebody off in a minute. Don't matter how long we've been friends. You start acting like a fool, I ain't got time for you. I don't need fools around me. I got plenty of other people to worry about in the world acting dumb, and someone I consider a friend acting real stupid. Like it's over with.
Exactly. Man, listen, we ain't gonna have this conversation no more. As a matter of fact, if you want to talk to me, don't let this be a part of the conversation we're gonna have, because we've exhausted that. You've talked to me for an amount of time. I've listened and I've listened. You don't want to hear nothing, man. Listen, man, this is just too much for me. This is too much. Rico, go ahead, brother. Rico, you look like you frustrated with the whole situation, man.
That's what I would be. That's what I would be if I had to do that every day, man. I'm gonna put my phone on mute and start doing everything else.
Yeah,
I'm gonna probably get to where I done learned him good enough to where I could just say,
yeah,
Badger know how I go. He done did me like that before. When he finna play long, you done did me like that before, Badger. I thought you were listening. You weren't paying no attention.
Are you sure?
I mean, that's what I mean. We just gonna be honest on here. We're gonna keep it 100, man. I mean, it's a lot of time.
When did I not listen to you?
Rico, you gonna call it, man.
I listen to you every bloody time. I stopped.
Sometimes we lose track of conversation.
Baby, look, what you say?
Sometimes you have to repeat yourself. Oh yeah, I thought I heard you right, but nah, that's what we do, man. I mean, we try to listen. I ain't gonna lie, we do try to listen.
Yeah.
But obviously, what's gonna happen? How many times can you hear the same story over and over again?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many times? I mean, and not say anything. Sooner or later, I got to say something, man. What's wrong? Mm-hmm. Do you hear yourself, or do you just like hearing? You like hearing yourself? Okay, so do you think I like hearing this over and over and over and over and over again?
Mm-hmm.
And this doesn't even have to be going on. All you got to do is stop, leave,
Yep.
Give it up. Whatever it is you don't want to let go, let it go.
Give it up.
You shouldn't have to keep on. I shouldn't have to keep listening to you talking about your lungs hurting, man. You still smoking cigarettes? Yep. Do you want it to stop? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I'll be quiet. I shouldn't have asked you that question because you just want me to listen to you. But I'm trying to think to myself, do he want to stop? Is he really trying to stop hurting? Mm-hmm. What are you complaining about?
Exactly.
He still firing up cigarettes, huh? Mm-hmm. But he just want me to sit back and listen. So, okay, so you doing this for attention. I ain't got time for it. Mm-hmm. I got a life to live too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And evidently you think I ain't got a life to live because you want me to just sit back and listen to you. Mm-hmm. On a pity party. Exactly. It's a difference. It's a difference in being a shoulder to lean on and being somebody, somebody that you can let people come confess to you and talk to you. You get what I'm saying? I mean, that can happen. Sometimes you have got to listen. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't listen, you won't get an understanding of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But after you listen so long, how many times can you hear the same story over and over again? They locked my son up for nothing. They locked my son up for nothing. Every meeting you got, every time you come on camera, every time you turn on, they locked my son up for nothing. And it's been going on for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know if you know or not, but they locked up I don't know if you know or not, but they diagnosed with me with lung cancer. Man, I know they diagnosed you.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised it took them that long. I know you still smoking too.
Look, I'm surprised it took them that long to diagnose. It's been a pack of cigarettes you smoke a day. I'm surprised it took you that long. They should have been diagnosed you.
You ain't dead yet.
Exactly. I mean, it's kindness, man. You can't. It's a difference between being kind and being a fool. I don't even want to call it being a fool, but it comes a certain time where you got to put yourself first and quit enabling people and being their doormat.
Exactly. That dog on Tucson said, "You ain't dead yet." Go ahead, Tucson. What's on your heart, brother?
No, man. You know what? I thought about it as I was listening. See, I ain't trying to fit in nobody else's life. Mm-hmm. So I got a limited amount of time. There are some people that I cut them off in their conversation.
Yeah.
You talking too much. Mm-hmm. I know you said that you needed an ear, but I've been here too long. And I got to go. Yeah. And I know how to cut this conversation off. Well, when I say that, mm-hmm. I ain't gonna say bye too many times. Yeah. You ever had a person, you saw them and they said, "Well, I'll talk to you later," and they walk to your car and then you walk them back to theirs.
Good Lord.
No, sir. Wrong answer. I ain't trying to fit in your life like that.
Yeah.
You ask for my ear. Look, I know by your actions and I'm watching your demeanor. You ain't listening. Mm-hmm. And then you got nerve to say, "Well, you ain't gonna say nothing." And then I start talking and you say, "Huh?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lord Jesus. Cornelia.
Look, I'll be like, look, I don't know, Ryan, you don't know about that, but in the Black Baptist church, we'd be like, old people, they'd be like, raise that finger up.
Yeah, the one finger. Yep.
I don't know nothing about that. I grew up in black church my whole life.
You ever saw
I know all about that.
When they say, I gotta go to the bathroom and they get that, ain't nobody, man, just go to the bathroom, put that finger down.
Exactly.
Everything you just said is pastor talk. Well,
exactly.
Give it up, turn it loose.
There you go again, right.
Give it up, Turn it loose. Oh, let me go to Cornelius. Cornelius, what's on your heart, brother? That's old school to me. You don't know nothing about that, man. That's Tyrone Davis.
It's real old.
Yes, sir.
It's real
That's
old.
way on back in the day there, man. Give it
I'm
up.
talking about really old.
You man, go ahead, man. Cornelius, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah. I was just sitting there thinking as I was listening to everybody, I was talking about how what if it's a loved one, family member that's coming with you about the frustrated and complaining about the same thing? How you gonna treat that person? Will you just shut them off? Will you listen, or would you offer an opinion?
Mm-hmm.
Answer that question. I'm just throwing it out there.
See, my thing is, I think the same rule applies if they're doing it over and over and over again. And how many times in a week do you want to hear the same thing?
Leaving in God's hand, ain't that what they say?
Yeah. How many times in a week do you want to hear this person? Every time you see him, the conversation. It's almost like somebody that get into one of them multi-level marketing businesses, and every time you see them, they trying to sell you something. Every time you say, man, you need to get this here, man. Man, man, look here, bro. What happened to the day when we could just come together and talk, man? And it just, every time I see you, you're trying to sell me something, bro. Every time I see you, man, you need to sign up to this, man. It's doing this for me. It's doing that. Well, why your bills late then? Why you?
Okay, well, Raheem, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but let me throw this one at you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw this fastball right up the middle of the plate. Let's see if you can hit it out the park.
Come on.
What if it's your wife?
Mm-hmm.
Now your wife works in the corporate world.
Yeah.
She's a principal in the school, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on. And it's coming back with the same old stuff. And you come home and you say, "Hey, babe, how your day went today?" And she tell you this and that. So then the next day, "Hey, babe, how your day went today?" Because you genuinely concerned about your wife. You want to know how her day went that day.
Yeah.
Whatever. She come back and say, da. Yeah, then you come back again like 2 days later. How your day went today? Da. How you handle that then?
See, this dude playing. He playing dirty ball because he know my wife listening. He playing dirty ball.
No, I like what he's doing.
This dude playing dirty ball right now because he know my wife is up there listening right now to everything I'm about to say.
That's what I'm saying. It's a fastball right up the middle.
What you trying
Let's see what you can do with it. And that goes across the board to all you married men that's on the phone.
But let me ask you this.
Would you shut them off?
Yeah, I can't wait to get that one. I can't wait to get that one. Go ahead and get it right here.
We as men, we are problem solvers, right?
Yeah,
we want to help our wives.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see y'all hit that part, the ball at the park.
See, basically,
I'm the question.
Yeah, there you go. But basically, what you're trying to do right now, you're trying to put an ice cube in my bed, huh? A whole slab of ice in my bed. You, man, why are you gonna do me like that?
But it's a genuine, it's a real question.
Okay, you asked the question. So
this is what we're talking about. When I say loved ones, I'm talking about the closest one that's to you. And they frustrated.
I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna answer your question. You asked the questions and you threw it out there, so I'm gonna answer the question. You didn't tell me you wanted to hear my ear. You said you wanted to throw the question. So let me answer it like this. I would have a talk with her. I really would have a talk with her, and I would say something to this effect right here. I say, baby, that's been happening quite often. That's been happening a lot. Are you sure you comfortable in that situation, or maybe you might need to change your environment or something like that and go to a different area, because if it continues to happen over and over and over again, obviously it's not going to get no better. I'm sure you voiced your opinion. You said what you had to say about the situation, and because my wife, she'll deal with it for a minute, and then she'll, when she gets frustrated, all bets off. All bets off. She gonna read you. She gonna read you at that point. And so I'm sure if she's got to the point where she's frustrated with it, she's talked to me about it. I've heard it several times. I said, listen, we need to reevaluate this whole situation. Find out whether maybe you need to get a different environment, maybe go to a different school or something like that, to change your environment. So maybe that will change the situation that you're in right now. Because if it's not going to change, it's not going to change with you there or with you gone. So I would feel better with you being gone and create a better situation for yourself. At some point in time, you got to look out for yourself, man. You got to look out for your own peace of mind. You got to look out for your own peace of mind, man. And you got to put yourself in a situation where you could find that peace. And if it's not where you are, you need to move on. Rico?
I agree, man. And then to be honest with you, being that would be something pertaining to her job.
Yeah.
I pretty much would have an understanding that she's going to have difficult situations and different situations come up all the time with different students. You know, one day she might have a teacher that's having inappropriate contact with a student. One day they might have a student bring a gun to school. It might be a school where they always got issues with parents not participating. The funding ain't right. I mean, it depends on what the complaint is. If she's complaining about the assistant principal not being professional, but at the same time, she can't fire her. She got to go through a procedure. She got to go through steps. Then you might be able to listen to that over and over again because she's going to be going through something different every day.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that would be completely different than somebody just, you know, going through relationship problems with somebody that they know and has been proven to be cheating on them. You know, so I think it would definitely, you know, discernment would come in about the type of situation.
Yeah.
It would be. You get what I'm saying? And then now, I mean, because now the wife could be a principal and she coming home and she complaining about somebody she works with having a personal relationship at home problem. And she all caught up in it. Man, that ain't got nothing to do with the school. You get in their personal business. I ain't got time to listen to you talk about them over and over and over again. Why you so caught up in their business?
Yeah.
She might catch that other side then. But if it's about her job, about her professional career, yeah, I can listen because I could understand the atmosphere that is that she's in.
Exactly. Right.
So, from my standpoint, it'd be pretty simple. Because my wife, you know, she at home. So all of her stuff bound to be home problems, you know, as far as employment is concerned. And I'm pretty straightforward with it. I'm just going to say, hey, when I'm at work, you rule the roost. So if you got a problem with what's going on here, you need to fix it. You know, and for that situation, we're talking about like a school and she the principal. Hey, you the boss, change it. Like sometimes you just got to put the ball in that other person's court and just let them see it for what it is. And that's only if you asked for your opinion.
Yeah.
That's not what we're supposed to be talking about right now. But you know, I'm quick. I'll tell you right now, and you can call me cold, whatever you want. I don't care if you're family or not. I'm only going to listen to it for so long before I turn around and just start walking away. Because it's certain, you know, that discernment, like we keep talking about, kick in.
Hey, Ryan, where you going? Where you going, Ryan?
Yeah.
Man, look,
I'm going over here.
Bring me a soda back when you going to get a soda. Bring me a soda back when you bring me a soda back with you.
But sometimes you got to turn off those relationships, and that's where that discernment come in. You know, my wife has said it on the show plenty of times. Good night, baby. Love you. That her relationship with her mother. At some point, I just told her, "Look, I'm tired of seeing you stressed out, crying over your own mama." So she's not going to change.
Yeah.
Guess you need to just cut that off, and that's what she did. I cut my mother off for 20 years after she put me out for my stepdad. You'll never see my kids. Bye. You know, and I revisited that later down the line.
Yeah,
exactly. Things is good now.
That's good.
But sometimes you just got to cut off the cancer. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Let me go back to Cornelius for a second. Did I hit a home run? What am I on? First, second, or third base? What base am I even in the game, brother? Talk to me. How did I answer your question? Did I answer your question?
You hit a base hit, man.
Oh, it's a base hit. I'm just on first base. Ain't that something? All that swing, all that swinging I done. I'm just on first base.
You trying to say you got on by arrow? Somebody dropped the ball.
Look
at basically.
You know, my whole thing to it all is that the reason I bring it up because it's a reason and purpose behind why I said that. I'm not gonna put everything out there, but it is to a point that where sometimes I've learned in this situation that where I've learned to listen and I sit back, I pray about it, and then I offer a suggestion when like you said, when the discernment kicks in and the suggestion is offered, you know, and then I offer one. But I've learned in a period of time that you just be quiet.
Yeah.
and listen. And then when the time is, you offer that opinion when that time comes, you know, and then you may just have a general discussion about it to where what could be the situation, what may be causing the situation, even though you may not be in that environment, but because of your experience of what you've been through, this could be that situation. So, you know, as you listen to what's going on, so that's just a thought, or just a thought on something, just making a general conversation on what we're talking about here, because at the end of the day, either people going to listen to you or they're not.
Yeah, exactly.
But at times, you just be careful what you're going to do when the time comes, and use your discernment or your wisdom on what you have gained over the years. And that's just my perspective on that whole thing.
That's good. That's good. Toussaint?
I had a relative that was having some issues, and he came and he said, "I need to talk to you." So in him explaining his issues, his wife had another relative that was staying with him, and she was basically trying to dictate what goes on in the house.
Wow.
And his wife was in favor of her staying, and he wanted her to go. So I listened. And he says, and I've been praying about it, says some things I don't pray about.
Yeah.
I don't have to pray about somebody being in my house, running it. Prayer, oh, amen. Prayer over with. You know what I told him? I said, let me tell you what you want my advice? Not really, I don't give advice, but you know what I would do? This is what I would do. I'd get up the next morning and I'll get out of the bed in my birthday suit and I'll lay on the couch.
What?
He say, Uncle Donna. Oh, I didn't mean to. Anyway, he say, it what?
You know, put the man business out there. You know, call it. You know, put his whole business out there. Uncle Donna. Oh, it's your nephew, huh? Oh, okay.
He say, it what? Man, look, I had a guy. He go, look, now,
that, man. Hold on, Toussaint. Hold on, man. Hold on, Toussaint. Hold on.
Let it go right here. Let it go.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Oops. Look. Oops. Look at. Oops. Look. It had one guy, a preacher. A preacher come to my house. It was about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Jesus.
Talking about I was in the neighborhood, so I was just passing by. Now wait a minute. Let's evaluate that comment you just made with that boy running around in my house right now.
Wow.
I stay on the dead end, the end of a dead end. Ain't nobody house past mine. And you just passing by. I said, look, Reverend. I said, I appreciate you coming, but don't you do that no more. Because next time I'm going to answer the door in my birthday suit. See how you and your wife like that. see. It worked every time, bro.
No, do you just like being naked, man? I'm just asking, man.
Well, it's either that or the Spider-Man suit.
Right. Look, now, Badger, you see now, you done going out there.
Man, all I'm seeing right now is Uncle Donald from Mickey Mouse.
No, but what I'm saying is, right here, I didn't want to put it out there. But what I'm saying is, sometimes in when they finally say, give me some, first thing we do is say, especially Christian, let me pray about it before I give you an answer. Man, look, let me tell you something. Some things that I see that are hurting people, that have been hurting them, they've been in the same situation, they come with the same conversation all the time. I ain't praying about that no more. Here, what you got? Here's what I got for you. Here's what I got for you, because you've been stuck in this situation, and I'd heard that. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you. Matter of fact, don't come to me. You ain't gonna come to me with that again. I'm finna let you have it. You ready for it? Now you do what you want to. But now finish off the conversation and do what you want to and see. Let's see how that work out for you.
Exactly. We're gonna switch up, man. We've been on this one here for a minute, man, and it's still a lot of stuff we could talk about on this particular topic right now, but I definitely want to get to something else. So Rico, I'm gonna start this next one off with you, brother. And I think I know the answer to this one right here, but before you got to the place where you was practicing celibacy, how did you tame the dog in you?
Oh man, it didn't take much, man. I started sticking to my standard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in my days where I was at my worst, as far as, you know, being promiscuous with women and stuff like that, going to strip clubs and doing that, man. That Freaknik is funny that everybody talking about Freaknik right now, man. You know, I done bought it up quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Bike weeks, man. Look, man, I got some stories to tell, and I'm sort of conflicted. You know, sometimes I reminisce and I go to smiling, but I lowered my standards back then. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And as I got to a point where I started realizing, okay, I'm getting a certain age. I want more. I've sort of settled in the past or conformed, or, you know, went a little astray, and accepted some things, some behaviors that I shouldn't have accepted in women.
Mm-hmm.
Placed my private parts in women that probably I shouldn't have never even been that way with.
Mm-hmm.
But I lowered my standards.
Yeah.
But now it's to a point that in the process of wanting better and realizing that I did sort of, I ain't gonna say sort of, I did demean myself. You know what I'm saying? By doing, I disrespected myself doing the way I carried myself. And then wanting a certain standard in a woman. I don't even want to just call it an expectation, but just a standard, a quality of a woman. Women it don't take much for women to make me be like, okay, I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yeah.
See, in the past, I used to be like that afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, why I do that? Dang, why I do that? I should have never messed with her. Dang.
Yep.
Now it's like it's kicking in a lot sooner. In the past, I would overlook a few things and be like, oh, I can overlook that. I just want to get to the gold mine.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now I'm like, you know what, man? That no strings attached stuff don't matter. Sometimes you still gotta listen to women.
Mm-hmm.
You know, come over here, you gonna come over here, you gonna come over here. What it just got to a point where I was like, it didn't take much for women to just make me be happy that I said, you know what, I could wait.
Yeah.
So it was really the women that actually made it better for me. You know what I'm saying? It's making it easier because I slip. I ain't gonna even lie. It's been quite a few times I don't came close to slipping.
Mm-hmm.
But a woman will say something or do something that lets me know that I don't want to get involved, period. Not even in that way. Because if I get involved that way, especially if it's good and I like it, we're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep having to deal with these other things that I don't like about this woman. That sooner or later that's gonna overwhelm me, and it's gonna make whatever was hot about her right now is gonna be a turn off. Because right now, so many of them out there in the past, super bad that I messed with. Mm-hmm. Now, if I had to go back again,
would you say you compromised?
Yeah, I did. I definitely did compromise. I went for the wrong thing. I just wanted to test. I just wanted to test what I seen. I was very physical and I objectified women.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, that just really made it to the point of where, and now it's like, you know, I look more of a quality than I stick to. You know, I look for more quality than I stick to.
Absolutely. Cornelius, how did you tame the dog in you, man? When you was out there before you became saved, man, and you had that dog in you, how did you tame the dog?
The fear of God. Easy answer.
No. I'm saying
before
you became saved, when you was out there running them streets hard, during that time, you know, pre you being saved.
I didn't tame you. It's the fear of God. I didn't tame you. I was out there, man. Every time something was thrown my way or I had an opportunity, I was doing what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And the main ones I got with y'all about to bust me out on this.
Come on.
Y'all ready to clown me?
Come on.
Y'all ready to clown me?
Oh, we coming at you. We coming at you.
The ones I got with the most, and I didn't do it, was the weed heads, because I knew they were easy.
Yeah.
The women that smoke weed a lot,
Yeah,
them the ones I got at.
Puff, puff,
And
pass.
and when
Puff, puff, pass.
and I would never do it. I get my drink on with them, but that was the ones I would mess with, was the weed heads. And the thing was is that I didn't tame him, man.
Yeah. Wow.
I could not tame him. I was doing what I did. Every time the opportunity knocked, I was there.
Were you out of control? Were you out of control? In hindsight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was. I'm, being from Detroit, man, it was a lot going on then back in those days, man. In the mid '90s, early 2000s. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
you hooking up with all different type of women that present themselves, especially during that time. That's when the chronic was full blast, and the women was out there smoking them blunts and all that stuff. I don't know what they do now, but that's what they were doing back then. So, and I would spend a little money just to get that, buy a little dime bag or a 20 bag for them so I can get what I want to get.
Yeah.
And even when I was one of them type of dudes that was tapping all the girls at my job. We were in to the point that where it was me and a couple of guys were having competition. Who can get the most girls?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was my whole thing, was my thing was to hit the gym, to build my body up and my physique up, to build my confidence up, to know that the women were attracted to guys that's built with muscles and buffed and all that stuff. And they were coming at me, and then I'm driving a forklift, and I'm making good money driving a forklift at that day and time. And they were coming at me, because they thought I had a little money on me. I had me a 1994 Eddie Bauer edition, tinted windows, mag rims, and all this type of stuff. So they were on it. They like what they liked, and that's what I was getting at. So I didn't tame him, Brian.
That sound like
fear God.
That Eddie Bauer. That sound like a motel on wheels. Ryan, how did Ryan, how did you tame him, man? Back in the day, man, when you was running them streets, you from Detroit as well. So when you was out there running the streets, man, hard, how did you tame the dog in you?
I'll be real. I wasn't that type of cat. I stayed with the same girl until my senior year of high school, from about 8th grade. But once that ended, because it ended poorly, I took that out on all the rest of the females.
Wow.
And I'm just telling myself, being open, I did a lot worse than just picking up these HOEs out there. I was going specifically for girls who were known to not be out there giving themselves away, because I wanted to take that. And it was bad. I was not a good person at that time, and I could get away with just about anything because ain't nobody finna mess with me, and girls was easy to just, even them hardcore ones that ain't nobody getting this. You talk them right out the pants real quick. So I was a devil.
Wow.
Real bad. And then I met my wife, and it didn't change. My wife's the type of person who admires the human body. So she's never looking at men, but that girl pretty. And she drawing my attention looking at these women. So I catch myself making remarks and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get myself in trouble,
Yes,
and it never happened. And still to this day, we can go out. Prime example, I had a guy in town from Denver last week on business, and I took him out to the bar. And it's a biker club that we go to here that's run by the Scorpions Biker Club.
Okay.
And I know a lot of those fellas. So walk in there, sit down. The girls barely wear nothing at work. That's just part of their outfit. You know, it's like going to Hooters.
Yeah.
But better. But you know, the one girl that was there on duty for lunch, she was like, hey, she just ran up, gave me a big old hug, like we had some sort of intimacy, right? Never have.
Yeah.
But that's just the type of person I am. And so he's like, hold up, you've been married 20 years. What, this girl hanging all over you? Your wife gonna get all mad? I'm like, no, go ahead. Hey, listen, why don't you call my wife? Because she's got her phone number. And so when we go up there, it's a together thing. Like we'll do the 3-way hug and all that stuff. But this guy is just tripping because if I showed you a picture of this woman, good Lord, you know, wow. And so I guess just age and my children calmed me down. It wasn't anything that I did to tame the beast. It's just something that came natural over time.
Wow.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Exactly. Toussaint. Toussaint, how did you, back in the day when you was running around, when you had that flashlight in the club, man, when you had that flashlight in the club and you were shining that flashlight on everybody, how did you tame the dog in you?
I was dreading you coming to me.
Come on.
Rico, free clinic.
Oh, Lord.
Oh man, you beat me to it. I was definitely gonna go there. Oh my Lord.
If that
Oh, Lord.
Everything that look good ain't good for you.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just dread. I was dreading. You saw me put my head down.
Yeah,
like
a couple of times. Yeah. Please don't come to me. Just skip over. Just forget I'm here for this question. But go ahead, Toussaint. How did you tame him, man? How did you tame that dog?
Well, see, that's why I say everything look good ain't good for you. And some that look good is trouble.
Yes, Lord.
Trouble. You ever hear me talk about, and you notice my voice getting lower?
Yeah. Exactly.
You ever hear me talk about Georgia peaches?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, I believe you're scared of them.
Sure it is. Danger. Warning.
Exactly.
What is that movie, that television show with Outer Space?
Lost in Space.
Yeah.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Exactly.
Lost in Space. Yeah, boy, I tell you. But the trouble behind playing, it comes with the game. And you see, some people don't play fair.
A lot of people don't. Come on.
Sure. And some of these women, they come with a game. Full blade. And you be like, I almost lost my teeth in this relationship.
Let me hold on. Stay right there, man. Rico, talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
You know, I remember when I first got started, man, you know, when I was young, I didn't realize that as a man, sometimes you could look at a boy and tell when he done went ahead and got there. When he done been there. So my daddy, I believe he could look at me and tell. And he called me one day. He was like, man, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, man, you better be careful out here. Because some of these women want just as many notches on your belt as you got.
Yep.
Like, no. Maybe the old hoes, but not the young ones, you know, not the young chick. Oh, my Lord. That clinic ain't nothing like pissing razor blades.
Woo.
Man, who would have known something so bad could come out of something so good?
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? I had to learn that lesson more than once.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Learn it more than once. And so, I sat back as I got older. I sat back and thought to myself, I was like, man, most of all of my setbacks and all of my bad decisions was based behind me chasing some tail. Not having a relationship, because I could still count on one hand how many relationships I had. Oh man, but no strings attached, friendships and best friends and all that. Oh man, too many to name. One night stands, you name it. I mean, man, there's women I slept with, I don't even know their name. And I probably left babies in them.
Wow.
I'm protected. Strangers. So, that's unknown things. You know what I'm saying? I got situations where women don't pin children on me. We took DNA tests, they wasn't mine. One that I need to get a DNA test, you know what I'm saying, because she still dodging me, and this boy like 24 years old.
Wow.
So I mean, I think about all the things like where I am now. I think I said, well, you know what, man, I can remember when I did this. I did that because I was chasing women. I remember when I did this, and man, I'm gonna tell you, this is how bad it was, how bad it is. Like right now, we could look at what's going on and complain about how hypersensitive these children are. But then I have to sit back and hold myself accountable for promoting that same activity, because during the time we came out, being a stripper was something that a lot of women sort of cherished. Being a porn star was cool. I mean, it was like acceptable. We knew porn stars by first name basis, and people wanted to be porn stars. We started recording and making our own videos. Oh my Lord, man, we started this mess. We started this mess, man. And I know what type of harm it caused me. I know how I got caught up in it, how I got hung up in it, how I let it make me not go to sleep and stay up the whole time before I got to go to work the next morning. I remember all of these things. I remember somebody tried to kill me over some tail.
Yeah.
Because I crossed some lines, or they was just mad because they women was talking about me, and I was running through they women, and I felt like I was the king. Yeah, I'm making y'all mad. I'm gonna knock all y'all girls down. I'm gonna get her and her friends. Y'all don't like me. They tried to kill me. They want to leave me dead in the woods. I almost ended up dead in the woods. Ignored all of my little signs that I received before I went down there. That told me, Rico, don't go, don't go, don't. But something was telling me, Rico, go down there and give her the experience. Go down there and bless her. Oh man, I felt like I was the man, and almost ended up dead. So it's so many situations, you know what I'm saying, with my baby mamas. I got children by women that they weren't the right women to have children with.
Yeah.
All because I got caught up trying to just have some sex and just have a good time, and ended up having something deeper, having something bigger blossom from that. So, it took me to sit down as an older man and just go back and analyze what I've been through in my life and what my motivation was. And my motivation was I was getting validation out of knocking down women.
Wow.
That was my motivation. I used to actually say, if I die, I want all the women to come by and throw their panties in my casket.
Wow.
I want every woman I done been with 30 years from now to remember, ooh, man, that boy Rico wasn't nothing to play with. I wanted them to say, you know what, yeah. And that motivation, that validation, it caused me a lot of harm in my life. Sent me through a lot of life-changing situations, from diseases to baby mamas to almost losing my life, just trying to be deviant, pretty much, be hypersex. I mean, it didn't take much. It just took me to sit back and realize what I had done to myself and what the motivation was. It ain't just the women. It was also me too, along with lowering my standards, messing with some of them women also.
Exactly. Got one more topic I want to talk about tonight, man. And this is something I want to talk about for a minute on the broadcast. And I think we can actually do it tonight. Drug dealers. People that's out there selling drugs. Ryan, I'll bring yourself on screen, Ryan, if you can. I'm coming to you first. Drug dealers, people that's out there selling drugs, making the money, doing a different thing illegally, of course, killing and destroying a lot of people, a lot of families, and everything that goes into it. Who's more addicted? the people that they're selling it to, or is it the dealer more addicted to the money that he's making, he or she is making? Who's more addictive, the user or the provider?
They both addicted the same, just different things.
Mm-hmm.
The seller addicted to that money, addicted to that fast life, addicted to all the material things that he's getting from that money, thinking that he doing something, he going somewhere. He ain't got to be trapped in the projects or wherever he coming from. So he think he doing something good for himself. He doing something, but really he destroying his soul. And it catch up to you in the end.
Yeah.
And that addict is just sold their soul to whatever mess they hooked on.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them just get trapped and they can't find a way out of that addiction because it's got them. It's got hold of that soul.
I've talked to a lot of in where I grew up, I've talked to a lot of people that sell drugs, man. That's the choice of livelihood that they selected for themselves. It wasn't ever for me, but that's what they selected for themselves. And when I asked them a question, because I've always been a question asker, I say, man, how addicted to you to selling drugs? And the ones that was absolutely honest with me, man, some of them said they was more addicted to that money, to that lifestyle, to the women and all the stuff that goes along with it. They were more addicted to, they thought they was more addicted than the people that was actually selling it to. Rico, talk to me, brother.
I imagine that could be possible, but I could say, to me, I would think the addict is the most addicted, because the addict is the one that would probably allow somebody to sleep with their child or be high enough to leave the child vulnerable for somebody to come and take advantage of them. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe to leave them in more poverty. Like the drug dealer, he may be doing it big enough to where everybody's in danger and he's putting their life in danger. Or he might just be doing it to get by and then make extra money, you know what I'm saying, to go along with a job. You got some people selling drugs, they working and they doing enough just to make extra.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't trying to be the Tony Montanas, you know what I'm saying? So they might be under the radar a little bit. So it's like those people, I'll say that they're addicted, but I'll say the ones that are under the influence of these chemicals might be more addicted, because you see that you see more situations of where some of them actually sell their children for the drugs. You know what I'm saying? I remember back in the day, a woman was letting dudes screw her daughter.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because, didn't nobody want to screw her no more. You know what I'm saying? So they was taking advantage of her daughter, and her daughter was older. I know quite a few women that's been through that. You know what I'm saying? The moms didn't know or did know. But yeah, plenty of situations I know where the crackheads had children that had babies at 12 by the dude that was selling them crack.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think I would have to go with the abuser still being the one that's more addicted, because sometimes they could go through those situations and they still can't let that dope go.
Which one do you think would have the hardest time stopping? The person using or the dealer with that money and that lifestyle? All of a sudden, if he didn't have anybody to sell it to anymore, what kind of withdrawals will he go through? He or she go through?
I think both will go through withdrawals, but one of them would be more mental and one of them would be physical.
Yeah, that's
the
good.
One is actually, lacking, not having that drug in their body. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you seen Pookie.
Yeah.
Some of them look like that when they go through withdrawal, man. I've seen people go through withdrawals from alcohol. And man, they go through some changes. You get what I'm saying? And I don't think people that's, if somebody is actually having to go through withdrawals from not having big money no more, then they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
Man, I've seen exactly. I've seen situations so terrible, man, where I've seen grown men on the floor, man, searching through carpet, thinking they done dropped something
dropping that dope. Yep.
Yeah, thinking they done dropped,
picking up crumbs.
Yeah, man. I was like, man, what's wrong with dude, man? Man, I think
See, I think about it like this, Raheem.
Ah.
I know dudes that do something strange for some crack. People done did something strange for some crack. I can't figure a dope dealer going broke gonna go out there and start selling his tail on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It's some lines he ain't gonna cross.
Mm-hmm.
But that dope thing, oh man, that dope thing will cross some lines.
Yeah.
For that dope.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's a lot of time there's no limitations, man, and it's terrible. There's no limitations, man. Cornelius, talk to me, brother. Who's more addicted, the dealer or the addict?
I think the dealer, not the dealer, but I think the addict.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Because like you said, brother just said, there's more. The money is more physical, whereas the other is more mental.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that wholeheartedly, because in the aspect now, because of who I am, I have to bring this out, because I don't know how many times when I do get on here and I got to express what God gives me in situations like this, stuff that I've studied with over the years. And this thing, where the mental part is that we are tri-beings with spirit, soul, and body.
Mm-hmm.
And the spiritual side of it is that I learned this years back. What enters into the spirit, man, which is the thought pattern. Then you got the soul part of a man is the deep inner emotions, everything that's connected to who you are. And then the body is you just gonna follow. Whatever the mind tells it, the body is just gonna follow. Mm-hmm. But once it's deep down in your soul, that is what it becomes of you. And this is what they call the spirit of enslavement. What is connected to enslavement? Addictions.
Mm-hmm.
And in those addictions is that and that is that spirit of enslavement. That is a stronghold that we talk about. What is a stronghold? It's a fortified fence that's hard to break.
Mm-hmm.
So when those different things come about in an individual, they're dealing with these strongholds. Now, like the Bible teaches, for the love of money is the root to all evil. Those that be covered after it is caught up in a snare. What is that snare? That is a stronghold.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in saying that individual that has that so much, they got to make this money. They got to have this money. They're not content with their lives. They're not content on where God is carrying them or whatever God is trying to lead that person to, mm-hmm. or whatever the case may be. They're not content. So they're going to deal with these different things. They're going to chase after whatever the world offers.
Yeah.
That's the drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
the person that's dealing with that situation with the with those addictions, that stronghold and enslavement, that has bound them up and enslaved them to the point that where they gotta have it. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if you know Bishop Bell's testimony, Raheem.
I do.
That's where he was.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
He told us that.
Mm-hmm.
He said that before he became a pastor, all this stuff, he said, I was a cracked out dope fiend addict.
Mm-hmm.
He told us that in his testimony before he became who he is. That's why you can't tell me God ain't real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in that he said to us, he said what? That he was just like that, crawling on the ground, thinking everything that was right was crack.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Chasing it.
Mm-hmm.
He told us that his testimony, man. And I said, man, I've never been there. I've never been into that mindset to where I'm just, and I used to get mad. I remember being in Detroit, man, living down in the projects of Detroit, off Trumbull and West Forest. I hope my man know where that area is. Down in that area, man, I remember living in a project called Freedom Place. We had nothing but, it was a low income housing where nothing but crackheads lived in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they're just around the streets. We selling dope to them, selling crack, all these different things. They chasing after that high or whatever, that first, looking for that first high that they missed on the first time, that they trying to chase after the high that they had the first time they got it.
Mm-hmm.
They still chasing it, but never got to that same point. And that would lead them down. My uncle died a dope fiend, died shooting needles, died to the point that where, and I'm gonna tell you, I know this is gonna make y'all cringe. I'm gonna end it with this. I remember being a teenager, seeing my uncle shooting dope in his penis.
Wow.
That's how bad it got.
Whoa.
For him.
Whoa.
I never seen nothing in my life with that. that shook me. And I was 16 years old when I seen that. I just happened to come upstairs. He was in my mother's bedroom shooting a needle in his penis. That's bad. That's why I say it's worse. So that's just my thought on that.
Wow. Toussaint, who's more addicted, brother? In your estimation, who do you think is more addicted, the dealer or the addict?
It's definitely the addict, because that high. I know they say people will do anything for money, but man, look, that to be addicted to certain drugs, and some of it is prescription drugs. You're talking about addiction.
Yeah.
Expensive addiction. That people mortgage their house, refinance it.
Yeah.
Let somebody have their car. Just take it. It's bad to be there, and it's hard to come out of it. That's why I kind of sympathize, but you got to have some tough love for somebody that's strung out.
Yeah. Now,
the addiction that the drug dealer has for that money, jail gonna take care of that.
Wow.
Or the grave. You know, some people know how to come out of it. You know, they make a certain amount and they done. They come out the gate. That's the wise ones.
Yeah.
The other one's a bunch of fools. Well, I can't. Well, yeah. Because here's the thing: some of them smoke their product, and they become both.
Become their best customer. Yeah, become their best customer. Absolutely.
They are the best. They are their best customer, and so they wind up owing the one they buying it from, and they trap.
Yeah,
and can't get out. But the grave will take care of that. Because see now, when you start getting into the game and you don't know how to handle the game, and you become the main player in the game, yeah. Jail will take care of that.
Yeah.
Man, I used to be a baller. Put all your teeth out. Somebody bust you in the mouth.
Yeah.
But when you are addicted, right? I'm talking about it got a hold on you. Everybody that has been had a high, see, they had a hold on it. But when that drug get a hold on you, man, look, that's why I always feared crack. I feared it because it make you steal from your mom.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing.
Yeah.
That'll make me steal from my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
There's people that I know that their parents have to lock the TV in another room and other stuff. Lock it up. Because they don't care. Man, you talking about, man, what you did. What did you do to your mother for a high? They forget about relatives, kin folks. They don't care nothing about. And look, and it don't discriminate. Addiction does not discriminate. It take police officers, mayors and governors and preachers and teachers. It don't discriminate. And you can't hide it for so long. Then it start coming out. And instead of you talking to it, it start talking to you. What you say? What you say? And ain't nobody in the room but you.
Great. Ryan, talk to me, brother.
Man, so my cousin Pancho, he don't deal with drug dealers. And we lost somebody in our family young. He died in my arms, got shot in the chest with a 12 gauge over some small change stuff. And Pancho, he went crazy. He cut somebody's head off. Like, I'm just being real. This is 20 plus years ago, and he been on a run ever since, and they never caught up to him.
Wow.
But he a fool.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told Rico about this. He a fool. He posts stuff on the internet. But Pacho, he don't play with no drug dealers. He don't play with gangbangers. And so where he stay at, you know, obviously being out there like he is, he got to stay low.
Mm-hmm.
So he's staying in the lowest of the low. So that's all you got around you is drug dealers and gangbangers.
Mm-hmm.
And he make his living cutting them out. You watch them.
Mm-hmm.
He take their drugs. He take their money. He take their guns because he don't get down like that. And what's crazy is he posts that stuff on the internet. You know, he got his little picture up on Facebook. Look at this lick I hit today. It's all this money, drugs, and guns. And, you know, I asked him one day, I'm like, what you do with the drugs? What you do with the money? What you do with the, you know, he said, well, you know, I got to pay to stay here. I got to pay to eat. Got to pay to, you know, he send money back to the house for the kids. And I said, what about the drugs though? Because I know you don't use, and I know you ain't finna resell it. No, man, I flush it. He flush all of it.
Wow.
He's not playing with that stuff because he's seen what happened. You know what I mean? It's a trigger for him. And while that's not that's not a condonable lifestyle, hey, if that's what it takes to get some of that stuff off the street, then that's what it is.
Wow. Open dialogue, y'all. We got 12 minutes. We got 12 minutes, and we never did this before, so we're gonna take this 12 minutes, man. We're gonna have open dialogue. Man talk. Real men being men. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, sort of going back to what we was talking about, man. I got a cousin, man. He had got a scholarship to the University of Michigan, 1987, and he went up there, man. And you know, back here he was smart, but he wanted to be cool. He wanted to fit in, you know. And I was, you know, as I was saying earlier, man, during that crack era, man, being a drug dealer became cool and acceptable. It became an option. You know, and then after that, being a stripper and being porn star, that became an option. You know, it became something to do. You know, you wasn't cool if you wasn't, you know, making videos. And so, you know, selling dope was cool. And I guess with some, you know, doing certain dope was cool. And him being from Alabama, a little small town, might have had 700 people in it. He goes to the University of Michigan, man, and he wants to jump in and be cool. He want to fit in. So he tried to join the Kappas. And during the process where they do where they try to, you know, pledge and this and that, they had them raising money and using them to throw parties. Well, you know, he wanted to get in good with the girls. He wasn't good with the girls. You know, he wanted to be like the guys back here. He just couldn't, you know, cross that over to that line though. He was just too smart. And that's the way people looked at him. You know what I'm saying? They didn't look at him as, you know, the street cred guy. Yeah. He wanted that street credibility. He wanted to fit in. So he figured he'd reinvent himself when he went up there. And, you know, he was smoking weed in Alabama. Got up there, weed wasn't nothing. 88, man, you still smoking weed? You got to be kidding me. So they turned him on into that coke.
Wow.
And then, you know what I'm saying, putting the coke on the weed, and he thought he was cool, man. And he got to spending that money. And then they hazed him, put him in the hospital. So now after he got addicted to this cocaine, and they played him for a fool and made him start making the bad grades for the first time ever, he lost his scholarship. Then on top of it, they abused him and they made a fool out of him. It really turned out that he realized he was just a stool pigeon trying to fit in, and he should have just did his own thing. Yep. But he ended up going down that road. He was in denial, traumatized, and got hazed. And to this day, he's still strung out. Now he's went up to MILF. And,
wow.
Man, he was in rehab for like 6 or 7 months. So I was like, man, I'm going to go check him out. You know, everybody was telling me, man, he done gained weight. I'm like, what? I'm going to go see him, see how he looking. I ain't seen him sober in over 20 years.
Wow.
That joker sent me a text message the other day, man, talking about how he been seeing the light poles bending and waving and talking to him, and the trees bending and waving at him. I said, oh, man. He done went and hit him some again.
Yep. Yep.
You know, when it hits something, man. I mean, it's like it got him. Even when he does go clean, he for some reason he keeps going back because he finds a way. I think it distracts him. I think being in that altered state of mind gives him an easier way to fantasize and live in that fantasy than try to be in that fantasy when he's sober. Because you can only imagine so much when you're sober. It's only, you know, when reality kicks in that this woman really don't want you and you still having trouble getting women and you still having trouble being accepted as just somebody that's cool instead of being receptive to everybody the way that everybody does accept you. You want to be looked at differently. You know, it's like you don't want to be Richie Cunningham. You want to be Fonzarelli.
Yeah, exactly.
He wanted to be the Fonz. And to this day, it has ruined him. It has ruined him, man. I mean, it's just funny, man, that, you know, we having this conversation about the drug dealer in the attic, because I've seen so many more horror stories from attic. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've seen some horror stories from a drug dealer. Yeah. But I've seen maybe 100 times more horror stories from the dope thing.
Wow. Toussaint, open dialogue, brother. What's on your heart?
No, man, I think that because of what I guess I've experienced and I've seen throughout life, that's why I don't necessarily sympathize with people, but I understand them.
Yeah.
I understand how far life can take you, especially when it gets out of control. So I try to search for the way back, I guess, to sanity. In not only my life, because I escaped, didn't get away, but I came out of it. I had to get tired of me.
Yeah.
I really did. I'm talking about, I had to actually get tired of me.
Wow.
Because, you know, if it wasn't for grace, everybody I look at that's toe up from the floor up, I said that could have been me.
Yeah. Exactly.
That could have been me. Anytime you know, because you talk about how that people used to lace it with something, and they used to call it wet, or really, man, that's some crazy stuff there, buddy.
Yeah.
You going off the deep end, and some don't make it back. So when I see people and they have that break in life at some point that they might have a hour or two that they've escaped the drama of that life. You ain't got much time to try to catch hold to them. Because they running back there and they running back quick. Had a brother that went out one time and never came back the same.
Wow.
Because somebody had in their mind that I'm gonna get him. And they put something in. That's why I don't leave drinks behind. I don't care if it's soda, whatever. When I was going to the club, if I left the table and my drink was at the table, I ain't going back to that. No, sir. No. Man, you left your drink. I don't care. You can drink it.
You can have it.
But I ain't coming back to it.
Exactly.
Because some people go out there with a mind to do folks something. Damage folks' lives. You know, the first thing, and I shut up, even with the first high, that's free.
Oh yeah.
And from that point on, the rest of them, they're going to
cost you. More than what you're willing to pay. Exactly.
You doggone slipping.
Cornelius, talk to me, brother. Open dialogue.
Yes, sir. Wow, I got a chance to finally make it to the end with you today, Ryan.
Yes, sir. I see that.
It's kind of slow tonight. Yeah, I got to get ready to get off though. But I just want to say this, man. Being during that time in my life and watching how things have happened and progressed during the crack cocaine era, crack era during the late 80s and early 90s, and seeing how devastating it can be, and how that sin of addiction or enslavement can really take a person to where it affects not only yourself, but also people around you. And my friend had a bunch of numerous crackhead friends. I mean, not my friend, but my cousin. I mean, my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And I allowed him to move into my house after my mother had passed away. And he asked me, he said, "Can I have a couple friends move in because they homeless?" And I allowed him to do that. That was a big mistake in my life because I'm trying to help my uncle out. And in that aspect of it, by doing that, when I got so frustrated with him, I put him out. But they kept coming.
Wow.
They start squatting at my house, squatting in my garage. This is what addiction does to you, what you're talking about. People living in the garage out in the cold, crackheads. Then they break in my house when I leave home, stealing from me, and stole something that was so dear to me that somebody else gave me, that it pushed me to the point where I was ready to kill them.
Yeah.
And I tracked them down to blow their brains out. And just so happened, by the grace of God, my gun jammed on me. And he got and took off running, but I had him dead in my sights, and I pulled the trigger, but the gun wouldn't go off. So I just think during that time and just seeing how drugs and that stuff can take you, it'll mess the whole things around. And I could have been in jail right now today if I'd have killed that dude.
Yep.
But because of that happened, man, because of drug addictions and crack and all that stuff, man, I could have been right now. You couldn't be talking to me right now because I'd probably be still locked up for murder because of that.
Exactly.
So
wow.
That's how deep this thing goes. So I just want to leave y'all with that, man. And God bless you, Raheem, man. Love you, brother.
Hey,
Thank
love
you
you
for
too.
constantly inviting me.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate you, man.
Hey, likewise, brother. Likewise. You know, you always got to sit at the table, brother. You know that. Ryan, talk to me, brother.
Yes,
Open dialogue.
So I don't know how many of y'all in here have used hardcore psychedelics or not. I did. I used it's called gel tabs. It's like taking acid, but it's in a capsule, just like you take your liquid gels for your headaches. And I remember the last time I did it, I took it and I spent 10 hours on my boy's porch. And, we sitting here looking out towards the street. You turn around, you can see the house, but with no door. And you start watching the dirt grow over the grass.
Wow.
And we decided to be foolish and go for a walk. I don't know. I know you got peoples up here. I don't know how many times you done been through the city, but most cities the same. You got them walking bridges over the expressway.
Yeah.
They changed up here now. Now they got cages around them because so many people done jumped off or thrown things. But I remember walking across one of them bridges, and I laugh at it now, but it wasn't funny then. And I'm looking over, and it looked like I could just hop over the side, and I would have been just fine. And it took my friend, even though he was high just like me, he grabbed my shirt, and my vision focused out, and that was it. Like, we got to go back to the house. And we stood there trying to find the door, and his mother finally opened the door, and we ran in there, and I'm throwing water on my face, trying to get whatever out.
Yeah.
And the water starts swirling in the sink, looking like a whirlpool. And so I say that because I've experienced that. I know what it's like. And I got off of that. I used to smoke a lot of weed. I don't smoke weed no more. I can't even stand the smell of it. It angers me. It turns me angry.
Yeah.
And people look at me like I'm crazy. What you mean makes you mad? It makes me mad when I smell it. And but I'm gonna say this. There's a drug out there called Flocka. It's mainly prevalent in the deep south. And it come across through Florida. And you hear about bath sauce. It's not bath sauce. That's flakka.
Mm-hmm.
Or people trying to eat each other. You see people running down the expressway naked, jumping through windshields of moving cars and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you'll see the other side of that, where people are stuck in this interdimensional loop. They do the same motion continuously. There's videos on YouTube out there of it where it's a guy, he's standing there like this, look like he jamming out, and he trying to light a cigarette, and he dropped the cigarette, pick it back up, put it in his mouth, start jamming out to the same tune, and you're watching him do the same motion 4-5 minutes, and the guy just standing there recording him. He has no idea the guy is even there.
Wow.
So what I can say is that there are demons attached to this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking metaphorical. I'm talking legit demons. And these people, when they come off the high, I was a CO, so I talk to these dudes all the time in them sales. And they would tell me on the outside, I'm looking like a normal person just doing drugs. I'm acting dumb. But up here, he said, we seeing a whole different reality. And it's demons coming at us, talking to us, telling us to do certain things, controlling our motions, our actions in our bodies. And that stuff is real. Like anybody out there who want to say or dismiss the spirit realm as not real, whether you believe in God or not, them demons believe in you and they come for you. And it takes a strong individual, and you need help. You can't do it by yourself. You can't. It's impossible. So that stuff is real, man. It's just, drugs are scary.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we 3 minutes over. We went 25 minutes over this morning, and we're 3 minutes over. Time to get on out of here. I'm gonna try to be on time in the morning, bro. But I'm gonna tell you something. No. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We good. We good. I'm gonna try to be like I've been real early this whole week. Try to keep that train rolling in the morning. Get here about 6:45. Well, listen, man, it's been a great broadcast. I'm going to go around and everybody say whatever they want to say briefly in their closing. Cornelius hung up already, so let me start with Ryan. Ryan, what's on your heart in your closing, brother?
Man, just, I don't know. Just be thankful for every day.
Yeah.
Because there's people out there who can't be thankful for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely thankful for each and every person in our panel.
Yes, sir.
That tune into both of the shows.
Mm-hmm.
I can't express enough.
Yes, sir.
How much, I care about each and every person on here.
Likewise, brother. Likewise. Rico?
Man, try to be as consistent as possible. Try to be as concerned and compassionate about your brothers and sisters, your other human species. And also make sure you look out for yourself. Look out for your health, and make sure that's more important wealth than money. Your personal health, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you could get all the money that you want to get, but it ain't gonna help you none if your health ain't right.
Exactly.
You gotta be around to spend it, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's more important to have some good health going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, just look out for each other, man. Like I said, I love everybody on the panel, man. Y'all my brothers.
Absolutely. Likewise, brother. Likewise. Toussaint, the wise man.
I don't know about all of that. Keep saying that. But look, man, I know that some people that I'm not religious. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Because that'll make you cray-cray.
Mm-hmm.
But you need, it would be helpful. He called himself, when Moses asked him, what I'm going to tell the people who you were? He says, I am.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to me? It's nothing that he's not, but he's there.
Yes.
With the type of demonic forces that Ryan was talking about. You need some help in this life.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do it by yourself. And sometimes you can't be in a setting like with these brothers that we have here, iron sharpening iron. This is therapy for me.
Yes, sir.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk about things that, you know, sometimes we put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's healthy. That's the part of therapy. So, man, I want to thank you, Raheem, for just doing what you do, man.
Hey, to God.
You crazy all good. Even every once in a while, you sing us a song, and I just,
girl, you know I love you no matter what you do. That's on Lenny, boy.
It sounded like any.
see, girl. Listen, man, this has been a great broadcast. We're gonna get on out of here, man. Don't forget everybody to join us in the morning tomorrow as well. Rico, I ain't asked you this question in a while, man. But what is this thing we do? We do the morning glow Monday through Friday from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock. But on Wednesday, what's it called, man?
It's called Way Out Wednesday. We go way out.
We let our hair down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But listen, it's been a great broadcast. Tucson, if I could get you, man, will you pray us out?
All right, well, God, Father, we come now and we say thank you. We give you praise and honor and glory. We need you. Even when we can't see it clearly, you're still there. And we thank you for that. However you are in each one of our lives, I want to say thank you. Because you don't have to do what you do for us, but you reign on the just as well as the unjust. And I'm grateful for that, because sometimes I don't do right, but you're still that friend that sticks closer than a brother. So bless us as we leave each other and leave this broadcast. And now, God, we ask for a rest in you through the night. And if it be your will, wake us up with a brand new mercy that only you can give. We give you glory, honor, and praise in Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen. Well, it's been a great broadcast, y'all. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and Real Men, I was going to say the morning glow, Real Men Being Men, for being a part of your evening. It is now 10:09. You're about to exit Real Men Being Men. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light on you for Real Men Being Men. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great night. Take care of each other. We will see you in the morning, 7 o'clock a.m. right here, 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on DKM Media Group and Associates for the Morning Glow. Now, give somebody some love and understanding and peace. Give them some peace as well. They would appreciate it, and I'm sure that you will as well. Have a great evening. Love you all. Talk to you in the morning. Peace.